What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video and for my next review, I am going to be reviewing a comedy that I reviewed about a week ago. This movie came out last year, and it is the movie Neighbors. This is a movie that was on my bucket list for a long time, as well as the last movie that I reviewed, Sex Tape. Neighbors stars Seth Rogan and Zac Efron. The main characters are Seth Rogan, Zac Efron, and Rose Byrne. Seth Rogan, one of my favorite comedians of all time. You know, This Is the End. Great film for him. Zac and Miri Make a Porno was funny. Rogan's been in a lot of movies. The Interview as well. Zac Efron is an interesting case because he started out as a Disney star. You may remember him from the High School Musical movies. There were 3 of them that came out, and he was one of the main characters. So yeah, he was in that. He was a Disney kid. He's not a Disney kid in this movie, that's for sure. Rose Byrne's been in a few films before. She's an Australian actress. Dave Franco, the younger brother of James Franco, is in this movie. Christopher Mintz-Plasse is in this film as well, from the Kick-Ass movies and McLovin from Superbad. So those are pretty much the major characters. So this movie is about Rogan and Byrne. They play a couple, a loving couple, who have a newborn daughter. Her name is Stella. Seth Rogen's character's name is Mac. Rose Byrne is Kelly. So Mac and Kelly, they're pretty happy with their daughter, and life's good for them. I mean, they want to basically. It's kind of like Sex Tape in a way at the beginning, because they kind of miss their old life, their life of having sex all the time, and because of their daughter and their parenthood responsibilities, they can't really do that often anymore. But then one day, a fraternity moves in next door, led by Teddy Sanders, played by Zac Efron, and Pete Regazzoli, played by Dave Franco. So their mission is that they want to aspire to be the best fraternity. I mean, they want to be in their fraternity's Hall of Fame, basically, by having an end-of-the-year party that's just the bomb. They're kind of on the opposite ends. Rogan and Byrne miss their young, they miss their young, Mac and Kelly, they miss their life before they had a kid. And then Teddy and Pete and all the other people, all the other fraternity people, they're going to be growing up soon. So they're afraid that they're going to lose, especially Teddy. He's afraid he's going to lose what he once had. He's afraid of getting older. And they're afraid of getting older. They're all afraid of getting older because of different reasons. But anyway, this fraternity basically disturbs Mac and Kelly and their parenthood life with their daughter Stella. So Mac and Kelly, they have to try to get the fraternity they have to try to get rid of the fraternity from their neighborhood. And then the war ensues. There's a war that ensues between the fraternity and Mac and Kelly. And, that's pretty much the plot of this film. Easy plot, basically, to consider, definitely. This is a very funny movie. I had heard a lot of good things about Neighbors and how good it was as a comedy. That was true. Everything was true about this movie. It was funny. Seth Rogen is the best part of this film for me, in my opinion. Seth Rogen's just really Seth Rogen, toned down a little bit, but not that much from what he normally plays. He is the best part of this movie. Zac Efron. He's an interesting case. He definitely has shed that Disney kid image. You know, that squeaky clean Disney image. I watched the High School Musical movies. I watched the first two and some of three. He was not like this. His character in Neighbors was nothing like his characters in High School Musical. Zac Efron, he does a pretty solid job. I don't think he's extraordinary. I think a lot of other critics and things like that thought he was very extraordinary as a character in this movie, but I thought he was solid. I thought he was a good character. I liked Rose Byrne quite a bit. You know, her character was good. She was pretty funny. She was able to kind of keep up with Seth Rogan. The chemistry between Rogan and Byrne was good. The chemistry between Rogan and Efron was decent. I thought that. Definitely. Dave Franco, kind of the straight man in this film. A little bit. Even though he's a fraternity person and he loves to party, he's kind of the straight guy in this film. The straight man. And, you know, he was alright. I didn't mind him at all. One thing I was kind of disappointed about was Christopher Mintz-Plasse and his... They should have used him more in this film. They underused his character in this film, and it disappointed me because I saw how funny he could be in the Kick-Ass movies and in the Superbad movie. So I know how funny this guy can be. So it was a little disappointing that he wasn't used so very much in this film. Also, there's a few other characters. Ike Barinholtz plays a friend of Mac and Kelly's. And he's alright in this film. He's actually pretty funny. Lisa Kudrow, you may remember her from Friends. From a little TV show called Friends. She plays the dean of the school where the fraternity comes from. She's underused. Probably meant to be underused. She wasn't great in that role, though. It wasn't absolutely great. Her performance in Friends was much better. Hannibal Buress, who's a comedian, he's actually most known, Hannibal Buress, for exposing Bill Cosby and his, you know, he probably heard the news already about Bill Cosby and how tainted his legacy is now. I'm not going to get too much into it, but he kind of exposed Bill Cosby to a lot of people, basically. And those are pretty much the main characters. The characters worth mentioning. So, like I said, this movie was funny. I really did enjoy this movie quite a bit. That being said, it's not a 5 out of 5. Instead, it's actually a 4 out of 5 stars for me. I thought there was a little bit... I thought there were periods in the movie where it kind of went slowly, where there wasn't as much humor. There were moments in that movie, but they were few and far between, because most of this movie was funny. It was very engaging. You know, like I said, the chemistry between Rogan and Byrne was good. The chemistry between Rogan and Efron was decent. You know, the supporting characters did their jobs. Christopher Mintz-Plasse was underused, but when he was used, he was okay, you know? The best part of this movie was Seth Rogen, for sure. By far, it was Seth Rogen. This is a Seth Rogen movie. That is for sure. And he really stepped up to the plate and hit a homer in this one. For sure. This movie got a 73% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It was a very good rating, and, you know, probably I would have made it a little higher, but that's not a bad rating at all for this movie. This is a very enjoyable film, for sure. And we got news recently that there is actually going to be a Neighbors 2. That's going to come out May 13th of 2016. Rose Byrne, Zac Efron, and Seth Rogen are all going to reprise their roles. And this film is about they are going to have to, Mac and Kelly are going to have to join forces with the Delta frat boys and Zac Efron to take on sorority girls who move in next door. So instead of boys, it's going to be girls they're going to be facing this time. So there you go. I mean, this should be. I'm can't wait for Neighbors 2. I thought Neighbors was very funny. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars for me. So that is it for this video. D-Rock 1992 out.